So here we go, chapter 3. 10 more classes, and then you have your final. I have nothing left to teach you. What's the difference between mercantilism and imperialism? Yeah. No, both. What's the difference between the two? Cecilia. What? Okay, expand on this more. Okay, good. So imperialism, you're going to settle that new country. You want that new country. You're going to put your rules into that new country. You're going to develop that new country like France did for Canada. Mercantilism is what England did to Canada. They came here, they took our good, they left. Okay? It was a purely economical or business relationship. So mercantilism is purely business. Imperialism is governmental in structure like that. Okay? Why did people go to the 13 colonies? Yes. Chapter 3. Lauren. Dammy.
Because, I'm guessing here.
Don't guess. Read the chapter.
Because it was established.
Yes. Go ahead. Yeah. The economy was one. What else? Keep going. Okay. Did we have religious freedom in Canada? No. So if you're being persecuted, if you're being made fun of because you're a Quaker or a Baptist or a Puritan, different type of religion. Okay? If you believe in something that's not the Catholic Church, the 13 colonies is a place that you can go and practice your religion without people coming down and pooping on you. Okay? Without coming down and saying, like, you can't get this job because you're not Catholic. I'm not going to buy from you because you're not Catholic. It was a really, really, really bad society back then for freedom and equality. It really was. If you were a woman, and if you were black, if you were Asian, if you were anything other than white and Catholic, it was not an easy time for you. Okay? So if you're a white Catholic male, like what 7 of us are here, we did it.
Yeah.
That was our heyday. Okay? 400 years later, less so. That would be today, where everybody's equal and everything's like that. Quality of life. Remember me talking about poop being thrown into the streets? In England, there's a lot of people. There are a lot of people. There are no sewers. So where do you go to the bathroom? You go into a pot. It's called a chamber pot. Now, when you have that chamber pot, and you have 10 people in your family, and that chamber pot gets filled up to the brim, now, are you going to take this and walk down the stairs with it clanging and sluicing all around? No. So, you walk over to the window of your 2nd-story apartment or 3rd-story apartment.
But if you don't have the apartment, you're on the ground.
And you and your brother or you take this and you chuck it out onto the streets because it's out of your house, correct? So it's no longer your problem. Now, somebody walking by, you don't say heads up, you just throw your poop and pee out the window. And with my dad, you'd have to empty every day. So, as they walked by, what's going to happen? Sometimes not all the water gets all perfectly thrown onto the street. And by water, I mean urine and feces. Okay? So, when you walk, who walks on the outside? Gentlemen. Because we're trying to be polite. Men walk on the outside because if something's going to get, missed, it's going to be them. If something's splashed back from the road, do you think it's rain?
No.
No.
Wait, I have
it would be, you know, the poop from everybody splashing onto you. So that's also why parasols kind of became big, but this is more in the 1800s, a fashion thing plus
It has to do
okay.
with,
So yeah,
okay, so they see that if the woman is on the outside of the road, that means apparently she's available or something.
no,
So
I
the
don't.
man always has to be on the outside of the road when you walk.
What?
That's what I heard.
No.
Wait, you heard me wrong.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
The bottom of the book,
At the bottom of the book,
page 55.
yes.
That 13 volume over that, and then together the colonies became the English. So where were they? Were they in England or where were they?
The 13 colonies were known as New England,
No, but like where were they that they got that name from?
America.
But it grew apart.
No, but this is New England. Like we were known as New France,
Yeah.
they were known as New England. Okay, so the quality of life in New England or the 13 colonies was much better than it was in England. Okay, was it better in New France?
No.
Debatable. Was it better for women?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
way better
in
in
Yeah.
France.
They had everything together.
They didn't have religious freedom in France, in New France.
No, wait.
The women,
this is
for women, for the fee to walk, they came over, they started to marry the daughters of whoever. Okay? So you're not popping out babies by 14. You have a 6-month winter, correct? Do you have to help with farming duties during that winter? No, so kids don't have to farm when the ground is frozen, Dammy. Put the phone away. Okay? So they don't have to help with the farming, so what do they get to do?
cook, clean,
Cook?
wash.
Sit there and do nothing.
Sit there and do nothing, and instead of sitting there and doing nothing, what do?
Sleep.
They go to school.
They had school?
They go to school, so you had a higher chance of getting educated because in France, when there's a 3-month winter, is there any point in going to school for 3 months? Can you learn that much in 3 months?
Yes.
And then the next 9 months, you're on the farm, you're working, you're helping out, you're doing all these things. Okay?
That's 12 months.
There's 12 months in a year there. Thank you. Okay? So, in New France, you had a better chance of becoming educated. You had, there's opportunities for farming. There's nice men that are looking to woo you. Yeah? Yes, woo-hoo. Yeah.
Oh, from sin.
Okay? Okay, as you go to page 57, there are different goals.
Page what?
57, the climate, very different.
Yeah.
Florida compared to, or let's say Georgia compared to Quebec, Atlanta.
Is that cold?
Atlanta's freezing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking Antarctica. Yes, it is.
What was the temperature in Atlanta over the summer? What do you think? 40, 41s kind of thing, Celsius? Like it gets into the hundreds easily in Fahrenheit. So, I have actually. So, Atlanta, really nice. What about Quebec? So in the winter it would probably fall down to what, 10 degrees?
Yeah, 21.
Okay. In Quebec, what do you think it gets down to in the winter? Okay. Minus 30, minus 40 with freezing rain. Which one would you rather winter in? Georgia or Quebec?
Georgia.
Probably Georgia. So the rule of thumb is 10 to 1. Okay? If they get 10 people, we get 1. If we have 5, how many do they have? 50. If we have 1 million, they have
100.
10 million.
I was close.
If we have 5 million, they have 50 million. If they have 100 million, how many do we have?
500,000.
10 million.
Well, why do you keep going?
We're smaller than them. We are smaller than them.
Wait, which one's
10 people, 100 people. 500 people, 50.
Which one's more freezing? -3 or -21?
You tell me. You're in math.
No.
-20 is colder than
Now, on page 59, it talks about John Cabot,
Sorry.
Giovanni Cabato. Why don't we talk about him? Why isn't he important?
Because he didn't include his life.
Yeah?
Because it just came.
He came, he stuck across for the next 50, 100 years. They knew it was there. They used the shore to dry the fish. Did they settle Canada? Did they do anything with the First Nations besides talk to them a couple times?
No.
Did they do anything in Canada until 1670? No, nothing. Their development of Canada was to dry fish. That's it. Okay? So, I don't stress about John Cabato.
Habit.
Giovanni Cabato. Okay? Talks about Halifax, which was 1749. We're missing something major in there. What do you think it is?
What? Where? Where are we?
What's the first major English thing in Canada?
What day?
Yeah? The Hudson's Bay Company. What year was that? 1670. Fantastic. So the Hudson Bay Company formed in 1670. Hudson Bay Company formed in 1670. Was made where? Yeah.
Rupert's Land.
Go ahead. Rupert's Land? Correct.
Pointed at me.
Oh, I pointed at him.
No, you pointed at me. I'm right here.
So I know where you are.
Pick her
Okay.
out.
So 1670 in Rupert's Land, what were they given? Yeah? A monopoly, fantastic. And how do we define Rupert's Land? How do we define Rupert's Land?
Hey, that's right.
Whoa.
She was laughing at the
So, little spazzy Cecilia, how do we define Rupert's Land?
Whoa, that was funny.
All the rivers and streams leading to the Hudson Bay Company. Now, what was the difference between how the English approached the First Nations and how the French did? Ben? What?
Oh, wait, no. It's the other way around. Other way around.
It's not about being friends and being jerks. They were just trading. How did the French trade?
Wait.
Yeah?
Oh, the French traded when, like, the runners of the wood came to the First Nations, but with the British, the First Nations would come to them.
Yes. So for the British, they didn't leave their forts. They set up forts. They said, you come to us. For the French, they said, we will come to you. Which one is more expensive?
You come to us.
French or English? Which one is more expensive? The French. When you have to pay people to go to them and live with them and learn their language, etc., 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 you have to pay more. If you're saying, hey, sit here, and when a First Nations guy comes in, give him a gun for 65 furs.
What?
Pretty easy. It's a lot of furs, yes. Okay, there's no money involved. What's the trading called? Starts with a B. Yeah. Barter system. What is the barter system? Keep going. So it's a trading system where there's no money involved, right?
Yeah.
So there's no currency involved. On page 67, it talks about Henry Kelsey expanding into the West. We don't really care about that. Cook, besides the fact that Henry Kelsey expanded west, but it won't be a test question. Okay? Cook discovered BC. That's all you need to know. Cook discovered BC.
Who is Cook?
On page 71. James Cook.
Oh, I got back.
Do you guys have any questions about chapter 1, 2, or 3? No?